Hi, this is Otto. This is some of this week's work. On Saturday I was watching football and I found this old sheet of watercolor paper and I said, hey, let me see how this works. So I went along and I decided I would paint this watercolor of boot. On Sunday, I went painting with the Bermuda Plein Air group. Now, the group was supposed to go to the Battery in St. David's, but I decided I would stay down by the water and paint this pilot boat that was in front of the old rusty boat shed. I thought it was quite interesting, being it was a perfectly calm day and you could see these reflections. I decided, right, that's what I need to do. The challenge with doing this was that there was another boat that was blocking out part of the reflection, so I had to move around this boat to try to get the shadows in. And the other thing is I did this on a 14 by 20 sheet of watercolor paper. It was actually on a block. I only had about 2 hours maximum in order to do this. So I had a fairly large brush that I worked with, and I blocked in big shapes, and I managed to get this all done in a couple of hours. I'm not sure if I'm going to do much more. I think I could do a little bit more with the water and the reflections. I think that might be a fairly sharp edge right there, so I might do something with that, but generally I'm pretty pleased with how this came out. So I hope you enjoy seeing how this piece was done on Sunday when I was with the Plein Air group. Over the weekend, I noticed that the old Phoenix building had the porch removed. There was a porch that went all the way around here. It was wooden, it was in pretty bad shape. There had been scaffolding up around this building for months, and I think there may have been a little bit of controversy. Some historians or someone wanted the porch to stay, so I said, right, I'm going to be the first one to paint this building without the porch. So I was there all day on Monday. People were watching me paint. It was fun working in town, fairly close to Christmas, with a Christmas crowd. And, you know, some people were saying, have you painted it with the porch? A couple of people said that they're actually going to replace part of the porch. Like one person said it was going to be replaced on one side. But I noticed that there are 2 doors here, and it's quite a beautiful symmetrical building. To me, don't do one side. Like, why not have a couple of little Juliet porches where the doors are, and then it would be symmetrical. You would still have some sort of little porch, and I think it might look kind of nice. Actually, I don't think it's that bad as it is. Like, you remember the history, you remember what it was like, but that porch was in pretty bad shape. A lot of old bits of architecture, if they're going to rust or if they're going to rot, they have to be kept up. And if they haven't been kept up, you can't demand somebody who hasn't kept up what they have to leave it in place. You should have been on top of them when the thing was in bad shape. And I don't know if you can actually really do that if you don't own the building. You know, it's not your finances involved in the upkeep of a building. That's a kind of hard thing, but like, that's the reality. And I have some pieces that are in the pop-up shop that the Bermuda Arts Centre at Dockyard has in the Washington Mall, because it is Christmas and everyone has these small works that are for sale. Now mine, I think, are mostly 9 by 12. I might have a couple of 8 by 10s. So I think the price range, the 8 by 10s might be $400 unframed, and the 9 by 12s might be something like $420. Actually, when I post them, the images that are in the pop-up shop will actually have the price on them. But the 9 by 12s definitely have very nice frames, so I think you would want to buy them framed. And It's a lot of work there. You'll really have to look to find my work at this pop-up shop. Now, when I was in town, I also did some sketching. So I did this sketch of some ladies that were sitting in the restaurant that's like right at the entrance to Washington Mall. Now in the afternoon, I drew the clock that was outside of the Phoenix building. I think once this clock used to be on the corner over here. So these kind of relate a bit. And what was interesting to me was the shape of the clock and then these arches. It's like some arches around the different doors and arches up there. So it was these repeating shapes, and then there were these other sort of grooves within the architecture. So I thought that was something interesting to see, and so I decided to do that. So I left it as a pen and ink, and then I got a copy of it and I worked on it using Procreate. So you'll be able to see a 30-second Procreate generated video of me working on this. And I edit colors. I edit the colors that you actually would have seen if you were there. So I think you end up with another interesting look of this piece when you see what I did on Procreate. Now, one thing I probably will try to do before the end of the year is a review of my year, because I had quite a lot happen this year. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to what I'm doing. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. So check me out at Otto Trott Art or just plain Otto Trott on YouTube. Bye.